looked at it as I have an ATM, but... Are you an Arizona resident looking to get the keys to your dream home? Well, now is the time to take a limited opportunity to be able to purchase your dream home in as little as 60 days.
All right, Kay. Kay, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I grew up in Inglewood, California.
And tell me about your childhood. You had both your parents growing up?
No. My father was arrested due to murder when I was like 2 years old, and my mom got caught up in the street life when I was around 5.
And who raised you?
My grandmother.
Mm-hmm. How was your childhood after all?
It was pretty difficult because I seen all the kids going to school with parents, and I didn't have either. All I had was my grandmother. And later on down the line, I ended up losing her. So everything that seemed like everything to me got taken away.
At what age?
12.
So from 12 on, where'd you go?
I had to grow up pretty fast. I went with my other grandmother, which there was always a question as if I belonged to this family or not. And it was kind of hurtful because I felt like the black sheep of the family. So I got pushed away from them too. And I ended up doing a lot of crazy things in life. I started prostituting, selling drugs. I had kids at a very young age.
When did you start working the street?
I actually started working on Fig at 95th.
At what age?
At 18.
18.
Yes. 18. Fig and 95th was the first street I ever got down on. It was one of the most terrifying nights of my life. I was told all these things to do and what not to do, and I was so scared. I don't know what to do if somebody might kidnap me, kill me. But I ran with it because it was the only way that I could find a source of income.
Did you have a pimp?
Yes, I did.
And how did he treat you?
Actually, every guy that I've dealt with in that line of work were more so in love with me versus trying to pimp me. So it was, I did it by choice, but not because he forced me to. And any man that I dealt with in that field had their own hustle, meaning they were drug dealers or had jobs to where it was both 50-50. We were both bringing something to the table. But I have had my fair share of some that were kind of crazy, that were abusive, that took all my money, that would leave me out all night, and they went and just spent money on cars, chains, and other women while I worked hard for it. It was pretty painful, but eventually you grow after it. You learn what to do and what not to do.
So back to that first night that you were working the street.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that night?
Yes, I do. I remember it as if it just happened yesterday. The guy, we ended up meeting each other that night, and I thought he wanted to be my boyfriend, right? So I went and I chilled with him at his family's house, and he was like, "Have you ever sold that before?" And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "You know, like you could get paid for it. But let me test the product first to see how much it's worth." And I'm thinking he's joking, right? So we mess around, and then he's like, "All right, seriously, we're finna go to Fig right now." And I was like, "Okay, well, call me crazy. I thought it was better. You know, I'm out here messing around with men for free. Why not get $1 for it?" So he told me, "Okay, you're not supposed to date black people. You're not supposed to get in cars with these license plates. You're not supposed to do this, not supposed to that." Gave me the whole rundown. And I'm like, shit. Whoa. First mistake I made was jumping in the car with a black man. And I found out the reason was because 9 times out of 10 they're pimps, right? So I jumped in the car. Every dollar that I made, it's just rules to this game. So every dollar that I made, he took my money, he took my cell phone, he called the dude that I was messing with, let him know, yeah, she was out of pocket, I'm taking everything, and she gotta pay me. I was like, damn, this is how this works? Like, I have no say in none of it. I just went with it. Eventually, the more I stayed in the game, the more I got more of the game. And I was able to start doing things on my own. And it made my game a lot tighter. And it made me a lot wiser, listening to other females' stories and the things that they've been through. it kind of made me stronger.
Have you been arrested for it?
Yes. Linwood knows me personally.
I'm sorry?
I said Linwood County Jail knows me personally. Which is sad and unfortunate, but yes.
So how did you end up down here on Skid Row?
Oh. I ended up down here on Skid Row because I had hit my rock bottom. I was with the love of my life who had just been arrested. And not too long before that happened, I had all 3 of my children taken away from me. So I had already felt like I was a little empty. So to have the person that helped me get through this stuff get taken away from me, it kind of tore me down, which led me to do drugs. I was popping ecstasy pills. I was doing coke. I was doing crystal. The only thing I've never tried in this world is heroin and crack and acid. But I was doing everything. And I ended up losing places I had to stay. And I ended up coming down here, which I met my mom, which was no help. Because every time, she'll throw $1 or 2 every now and again, but to actually say that she genuinely cares and want to talk to me and figure out the things that I'm going through, no, I never felt like she wanted to do that. But I came down here and I started to get to know people, like genuinely caring about who these people are and what do they have to offer, because there's a lesson in everybody that we meet. Whether you take the lesson or leave it, it's up to you. So I met this guy down here, and I met him through my mother. And he was like a really good friend. Like, we connected on levels that I can't even explain. Like, conversation-wise, he never came at me disrespectfully. Like, I really felt like it was something special about him. So I gave him the time of day, like, just to be friends. And one day we decided to take that friendship a little further than what it was. And I feel like that was the worst mistake that I could have made downtown. I got pregnant by this guy. I stopped talking to the love of my life for this guy. Like, it felt like I could have a piece of happiness. And if I could have that, I was willing to let go anything that would stop it from unfolding. So I stopped talking to a lot of men. I stopped talking to the person who I felt God made for me, just to see where things would go with this person. I ended up finding out a couple of weeks ago that I was pregnant. I told the guy, he said, whatever you decide to do, I got your back. It don't matter. So I decided to keep my child, because it's just not something that I wanted to get rid of. I've been through that before, and it's something very painful that no woman, I feel, should ever have to go through. So we both decided, okay, this is what we're going to do. So he asked me, what do we need to do to make sure that we don't bring our child into this world in a tent? So we hustled. And the whole time I'm thinking we're building this life, and we got this thing, these beautiful things finna unfold and occur in our lives, when this whole time I was the only person in this relationship. Like, I really felt like I had everything that I wanted without the value of $1. And I lived in a tent. But it was taken from me because he decided to want to mess around with other women. I only found out because of the fact that he paid my mom dope to not say nothing to me about this woman. And it was really painful because I really gave my all to this person. And he just really took my heart after me telling him, if you feel like you're going to hurt me, please just walk away. And he didn't have the guts to just walk away.
Any other gentleman that you were involved with?
Yes.
What happened with him?
He's actually still in prison right now. And I feel so bad because